Okay, but we're going to start off on a high note here and quickly because we have one of our favorites on the line. He is, well, as far as I'm concerned, he is the United States Senator from the great state of Pennsylvania. You only get two options, and he's the one I choose. Dave McCormick is on the line with us here on the Rich Zeoli Show with your old pal Matt Rooney filling in. Senator McCormick, thanks for joining us, sir.
Hey, Matt, how are you? It's good to be with you today.
It's good to be with you, and I'm going to say congratulations, because even though you've been on my show a few times, I think this is actually the first time I've spoken to you since you won. So, belated congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I'll take it. I'm excited and honored to be in this job, have this opportunity, and feel like I've got a real chance to help get the country moving in the right direction. So it's a real privilege.
It is, and it's some compensation, I hope, for having to go down and hang out on Capitol Hill most days with some of your colleagues. I take it you did not get invited on Senator Chris Van Hollen's spring break trip, though.
I did not, but that was something, because I don't understand why the Democrats keep embracing a set of issues where the American public have made their views clear in 80-20, 90-10 sorts of ways, right, that they want to secure the border and send violent gang members back to their home countries. These are not hard questions, and yet the Democrats keep going down these dead ends. And I think it's because, number one, President Trump's on the march. I think a very bold and aggressive plan for change. And I think, two, they don't have a vision for the future, and so as a consequence of that, they spend time sort of trying to attack what's currently happening, as opposed to what they would do if they were in the leadership role. And I think that's why we won the election in November, and I think that's why we're going to continue to do great things for the American people.
Your point's well taken. I don't want to give the Democrats any advisement, but were I advising somebody like Chris Van Hollen, I think this is the last thing I would tell them would help them extract themselves from this hole that they've dug. Because let's face it, I know that President Trump, for example, his tariffs, even though I think he's right on the money with what he's trying to do, I get that it's controversial, but there isn't anything controversial, for example, in fighting back against gangs that are populated by non-American citizens that are terrorizing our citizenry. Why the Democrats would choose this hill to die on, I just don't get it. I suppose it's a sign that their values have officially become completely detached from reality.
And hijacked by the progressive side of their party, a side of the party that's deeply out of touch with the American people, the side of the party that says biological men should be competing in women's sports, that we should embrace 20 million illegal immigrants coming across the border. So listen, now I don't want to get too confident about this, because we have to deliver. We made big promises. We promised to close the border, which President Trump's done a great job. We promised to stop the flow of fentanyl. We promised to get inflation under control and create great jobs for working families. We promised to unlock energy and make America energy dominant. So we've got a clear vision, but we got to go execute it now. And I think, as you said, the tariffs, when I'm across Pennsylvania, I'm in Philadelphia today. I was in State College the day before yesterday. I was in Pittsburgh a day before that, meeting with business leaders, and there's anxiety. There's anxiety about the tariffs and how they're going to affect them, and in some ways it's paralyzing people in terms of making decisions. And I tell them the following three things. I say, number one, there's uncertainty around the tariffs, but there's certainty around a lot of things. There's certainty around enormous deregulation. There's certainty around embracing energy dominance. There's certainty around, I believe, that we will extend and make permanent the tax cuts. There's certainty around $2 trillion of new investments. So we got a lot of wind at our back. The tariffs are designed to address a fundamental unfairness. We have been mistreated, and we need to use reciprocal tariffs to level the playing field for working families, for American businesses, and that's what President Trump's trying to do. And I hope he'll move quickly to try to flesh out a couple key deals, Japan, South Korea, Vietnam, that shows the template for what's coming. And I think if that were to occur, it would start to make the tariffs a little less controversial, because people would see where this is headed and that there's a good plan for building basically a set of partners in the Asia Pacific that isolates China and gets America on much better, fairer trading terms.
Well, you said it. Results are what matter. I know that there are plenty of squeamish people out there right now. I get some of it. But if we've got a number of vastly improved over the status quo trade deals in place a couple months from now, and Republicans are successful in making those tax cuts permanent and perhaps even expanding them, I think that it's going to be clear to every American who has any doubts, who's fair-minded, that America is once again on the path to being great. You said you were optimistic. Are you optimistic that Republicans are going to get their collective stuff together when it comes to tax cuts? Because we are so good at snatching defeat from the jaws of victory.
Yeah. Yeah, listen, we are the party that puts money back in the pockets of the American people. We can't raise taxes. We have to reduce the cost of government. There's lots of waste, fraud, and abuse to do that. We have to extend the tax cuts. I personally think that in addition to extending the 2017 tax cuts, making them permanent, I think we need to do some things specifically to help working families. And, one of the things that's happening is people are having less and less kids. And the reason for that is they can't afford it. So I think in addition to the tax cut extensions made permanent, we should increase the size of the child care tax credit, because when you have two working parents and you don't have a large income, you just can't afford it. I think we should have an IVF tax credit, because lots of families couples can't have children without the help of fertility treatment, and they just can't afford it. It's unbelievably expensive, Matt. So in addition to the 2017 tax cuts, I think we need to focus some very targeted tax cuts for folks that are struggling. And the median income in Pennsylvania, $52,000 a year, 60% of Pennsylvanians live paycheck to paycheck. And for them, extending these tax cuts, it's not optional. It's mandatory. If you don't do that, their taxes go up by $2,500 on an income of $50,000. But I think we need to help them a little bit more than that. And the energy revolution will do that to some degree. But I'd like to see some targeted things that I'll be proposing to help them a little bit more.
It is another area where I remember speaking to you about this before the election. Now here we are. Republicans have control. We can't get our economy back on track without once again making the United States the world superpower in energy production. We just killed offshore wind effectively off the coast of New Jersey. That's a major plus for our country and our region. Where do you see the administration moving now in terms of opening up additional opportunities for Americans to drill, to extract natural gas? You know where I'm going.
I think we got an all-star team with Doug Burgum at Interior, Chris Wright at Energy, Lee Zeldin at the EPA. The amount of deregulation that's already happened through the executive orders, through the things the executive branch can do is remarkable, and more is coming. So I think we got the key team. And remember, President Trump will also be able to, and is in the process of appointing leadership at FERC, leadership at the NRC, the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. So all these regulators for energy will be pro-energy selections. And so I think that's going to make a huge difference for the industry. But in addition to that, we need to have permitting reform, and that has to be done through legislation. I'm on the Energy Committee. I'm the chairman of the subcommittee on energy. We'll need 60 votes to get permitting reform. And, honestly, I'm optimistic. We're going to get Republicans to do that. But I think the 2024 election, in Pennsylvania in particular, where Harris and Casey both lost, in part because of their position on fracking, in part because these huge subsidies for wind and solar that drove up inflation, I think it's going to be hard for the Democrats not to come forward on reasonable permitting reform. So that's not going to happen until after reconciliation, but that's the next big thing on the agenda. We got real close in the last Congress, and I think we can get that over the finish line in this Congress.
From your mouth to God's ear, Senator, especially in my home state in New Jersey, where electric bills are spiking dramatically because of all this investment in offshore wind and 100-year batteries and all these other fantastical technologies that don't really work. But we know you're really working for the people of Pennsylvania and the United States. Senator Dave McCormick, everyone. Senator, we appreciate you making time for us on Good Friday, and I hope you have a great Easter along with the rest of your family.
Same to you, Matt. Best to you and your family, and thanks for having me. Have a good day.